Bill Maher has been running around doing media hits over and over again, talking about how much more radicalized and right-wing he is nowadays, even though he's still, of course, going to vote for Joe Biden.
His latest book is fittingly titled, What This Comedian Said Will Shock You. Because from stand-up to politically incorrect to real time, he's built a career on not holding back. Take a look.
The Republicans have been showing up at the trial dressed like Trump. Well,
I'm shocked. Shocking. Republicans, can you say that? That's what people are saying to me all the time because I'm so edgy and subversive. Can you say that? Not going to be holding my punches, all right? That's right, chatter. Not holding back. Hold me back, they say. No one can. I'll say it.
I know. it's all funny until it's the law. J.D. Vance was there, Vivek Ramaswamy, Tommy Tuberville, the head of the House, Mike Johnson, Matt Gaetz. No wonder Trump falls asleep in the trial. He's counting his sheep.
Oh, so good. Get it? Counting sheep? That joke is for an era where people wore like a long dress to go to sleep and maybe even like a triangular cap on top of that, like a sleeping cap, a nightgown. Ain't nobody knows what the fuck you're talking about, man.
Please welcome Bill Maher.
Hi.
You know, Bill.
They like me here.
They do.
Yeah.
So
Good.
far.
Joy likes you. That's big.
I do.
I know.
I do like them.
her.
We know each other for years.
Yes.
We're comedians, you know.
This is a good
We're in
buddy
the same
comedy.
Did we
club.
start in the clubs together? Were you at the...
You were LA, I was New York.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was New York.
Oh, sorry. So wait,
And it was only like 15 years ago, right? Because we're 40.
Yeah, exactly. So you have this new book out, and you know I watch your show all the time, so I know that you're a comic, but you basically go after Trump and Biden, you know, both of them, and a lot of people are not happy with you about that.
Has Joy Behar ever been funny? Like, I didn't even know she was a comedian until this very moment. I feel like neither has Bill Maher, really. Neither of these dumb fucks have ever been funny.
So, and
No,
I'm
not equally.
Well, not equally, because you know that Trump is doing more dangerous.
Of course. I mean, I don't think anybody was more out front on that danger than I was. I was talking about how he was never going to give up power long ago when everybody was laughing at me and said, you smoke too much pot. And I said, I smoke just the right amount of pot because plainly, I was using the term slow-moving coup before he was elected the first time.
That's right.
I said, this guy is never going to concede power. It's impossible to imagine him going, oh, I lost.
Yeah, can't do it.
That's just not in his nature.
So,
I mean,
but I'm nervous about saying anything against Biden because I feel, not that I have so much power, and you have some more than I do, obviously, but...
Oh, I don't know about that.
Are you afraid that you might, influence people who are on the fence?
I think you lose all credibility. I do. I mean, my bond with my audience has always been I don't pull a punch.
Yeah.
My bond with my audience is you're not going to like everything I say, but you know I'm saying what I really think is true.
Right.
That's...
Right.
Yeah. Okay. And look, Biden just presents as old. It's not really fair.
No.
Because he's almost the same age. Trump is almost the same age as him.
I know.
But Trump doesn't.
Oh my God. Oh God. He's so comedy, dude. This is comedy. Oh, it's not fair. Brian Griffin humor. Oh my God. You nailed it. It is Brian Griffin humor. Straight up. Smarmy, annoying, arrogant, douchey, know-it-all, literally oblivious to the reality. Oh, yeah.
Doesn't present that way. You look at somebody right away, you can kind of just sum them up. I mean, we are not young, but we don't present as old.
Yeah.
Biden does. I saw him yesterday making that speech.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry, he's cadaver-like.
But his brain is good. He's still great.
Well, here's what I said.
Is it?
Like, when I came back after the strike in September, I said, he should get out. Because he's just lost the faith of people. It's not fair. He's actually done a pretty good job. Yeah. But I said, he's going to be Ruth Bader Biden. That's the term I used. Ruth Bader Ginsburg. She stayed too long at the fair.
Dude, he's like, it's so funny. He's like, that's the term I used. We get it, man. We get the joke. You don't have to describe it. Okay? We understand. Why do you hate him so much? Why do I hate him so much? Bill Maher is such a fucking arrogant, out of touch, reactionary piece of shit liberal. He's everything that I despise. trapped inside of one fucking alcoholic human being's body. He is the perfect beacon of liberal elitism. He is basically the bi-coastal elitist that like everybody fucking chirps about. He is so unimaginably out of touch. He is so fucking annoying. He's so smug. He's so arrogant. He is such a classic arrogant know-it-all, and he doesn't know anything. And to top it off, of course, he's unimaginably reactionary on social issues, constantly being like, these kids, all they do is protest. How about you go to Iran and die? That's it. That's literally his entire shtick. I just described to you Bill Maher's political commentary to a T. On college campuses, these woke homosexual students want to protest against the beautiful state of Israel. That's all he does. And it's like every stupid libtard fucking parent of yours watches that shit and eats it up, okay? I'll have you know, protesting? Kids these days, they want so many different genders. They're doing gender science. Why don't you go to Iran for being gender?
I remember Obama had her over to the White House, like in 2013, to hint, hey, spend more time with the grandkids. That would not be a good idea, Ruth. And she didn't take the hint, and she was not in good health, and she stayed too long, and she ruined her legacy and got the Supreme Court now to be a pretty right-wing organization. Said Biden shouldn't do that. But, ego, he's Dracula. He has crossed oceans of time to be here, and he's not going to give it up now.
Well, you lead me kind of the next question. The election is less than 6 months away, and Biden has done good things. He's made improvements and strides on employment numbers, infrastructure, gun reform, climate action. The stock market is experiencing highs. Now, Trump...
Literally none of those things are the actually important or good things. First of all, half of those things that you just mentioned are not real at all. Gun reform is ridiculous, okay? The level of copium at gun reform, hilarious. Thank you. Yeah, we did so much gun reform. I know, the bipartisan bill that was passed, or that bill was nothing, okay? Ridiculous. As far as like employment numbers, also ridiculous. Like the idea that the stock market is doing great. Okay, that's awesome. That's sick, man. Thank you. Yeah, no, that really solved all of the issues, dude. The number one reason when asked for those under the age of 35 for their anger and resentment towards Biden is literally not even Palestine, Israel, or anything like that. It's just the cost of living being unimaginably high. Like none of those guys are on the stock market, okay? Mention the infrastructure, dumb fuck. Mention the NLRB. Of course, they never will. Biden's NLRB has done a good job. The infrastructure spending is like obviously an absolute necessity and the lowest amount possible, but still not the worst movement in the right direction. Afghanistan pullout is good too, but they're not going to fucking ever say that, obviously. But
is facing 88 felony charges, and he talks a lot about the Supreme Court decision. He brags that he's the reason it was turned, Roe v. Wade, and hence he won't accept the results if he doesn't win anyway. So what are we missing here, or what are people missing here? Because there's a disconnect with that contrast. Because I understand what you're saying about I've been critical as well, but that is not enough for me to tip the scale the other way, and yet for some it is.
Well, I think some people resent the question, like, what don't you get? Look, I'm not going to defend Donald Trump ever, but I would never say that we should put the swastika on the cap, because I think you can hate Donald Trump. You can't hate everybody who likes him. It's half the country. I don't want to live in that country. I don't want to live in the country where I hate half the country, and I don't hate half the country.
How dare you disagree?
Bro, you don't hate half the country. You hate the entire country. There's like a handful of people you don't hate. They have to be above a certain level of wealth and fame for you to not despise them. The fuck are you talking about? It's just like the idea that he doesn't hate half the country or doesn't want to hate half the country is so stupid. Stupid immediately to anyone who's ever listened to more than 3 minutes of Bill Maher's monologues. He literally hates everyone. He hates poor people. He hates gay people. He hates working class people. He has so much disdain for anyone who is not just like Bill Maher in status.
And I think a conservative once said to me, what you guys in the liberal side of it don't get about Donald Trump is we don't like him either.
Yeah.
It's just that in this country, it's binary. I mean, gender may not be binary, but politics is. You only get two choices. And the stuff that they are afraid of, they see Donald Trump as a bulwark against.
Called it.
You know, and that stuff is a lot closer to the home. It's like my kid is coming home from school and they're not allowed to tell me if they're transitioning. The school is going to take the side of the kid over the parent. Stuff like that. There is a lot of crazy stuff on the left.
It's so funny that he's pointing to this as like the reason why people are pro-Trump, when in fact, that is such a marginal thing. That's not a real thing. It's you and other fucking weirdos like you who hyper-focus on this shit.
There's stuff that each side is going to like and probably stuff they're not going to like so much in there, because that's the answer to the Donald Trump situation is what's going to get him elected is this woke stuff that a lot of people in this country just don't go for.
Well, one thing that
Yeah, dude, that's it. That's the real reason. It's just so funny to say this because, like, there's a shit ton of polling done on this matter, and neither the Republicans nor the Democrats ever bring this up. No one, and I mean no one but these fucking brain dead boomers ever put that into consideration. It's not 2016. It didn't matter in 2022. It didn't matter now. It doesn't matter now. It never fucking mattered. And it doesn't matter in spite of the fact people like Bill Maher constantly talk about how much this stuff matters. As a matter of fact, it actually worked in the opposite direction in 2022. If you want to talk about the trans stuff, the trans panic. So he's literally hilariously off base here. Republicans and their psychopathic tendency to lean into like anti-woke as a campaign strategy gave us the likes of Ron DeSantis and the massive failure of the 2022 midterm election. The fuck do you mean? It's the exact opposite, dumbass. Constantly leaning into like woke shit unironically has hurt the Republican Party. But if you had a fucking brain cell up there and you weren't just like operating on podcaster resentment that you've solidly developed into your only fucking form of discourse, you would know that, but you don't, because you don't fucking listen to anybody. You're not intellectually curious. You're just a fucking asshole. You're an arrogant, out of touch asshole who thinks he knows everything.